Welcome to the audiobook, Attitude is Everything by Jeff Keller. In this book, you will learn how a simple change in your attitude can completely transform your life. Jeff Keller, a former lawyer turned motivational speaker, discovered firsthand that success is not just about talent or opportunity, it's about how you think. It's about your mindset. It's about your attitude. Backhand index pointing right, your attitude is the way you think, feel, and act toward the people and situations around you. And here's the truth: if you want to improve your life, in your career, your relationships, your health, you must start by improving your attitude. This book will guide you step by step on how to white heavy checkmark recognize the power of your thoughts, white heavy checkmark choose a positive mental outlook every day, white heavy checkmark speak with confidence and purpose, white heavy checkmark face challenges with courage, not fear, white heavy checkmark surround yourself with the right people, white heavy checkmark take meaningful action toward your goals. Jeff Keller's message is simple, clear, and uplifting. When you change your attitude, you change your direction. And when your direction changes, your entire life begins to shift. So if you're ready to let go of negativity, take control of your thoughts, and create a better future, this book is your starting point. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Your attitude is your window to the world. Your attitude is the way you see the world. Jeff Keller paints a picture of your attitude like a window, a mental filter through which you view every experience, every challenge, every opportunity. When that window is clean, life looks bright, full of possibilities. But when the window is dirty, covered with the dust of fear, doubt, anger, and past disappointments, the world can feel dark, negative, and heavy, even when nothing has changed outside of you. We're not born with a bad attitude. As children, we start with a clean view. We're curious, hopeful, and excited about life. But as we grow older, that mental window picks up smudges. Negative experiences, rejection, criticism, and other people's limiting beliefs begin to block our view. Without even realizing it, we start to expect less, hope less, and dream less. We stop seeing the good. And then we wonder why everything feels difficult or unfair. But here's the powerful truth: you control the condition of your window. You decide whether to let it stay cloudy, or to wipe it clean with new, empowering thoughts. A positive attitude doesn't mean pretending problems don't exist. It means choosing to look at them differently, seeing lessons instead of setbacks, growth instead of failure. It means asking, "What's the opportunity here?" instead of, "Why does this always happen to me?" Jeff Keller shares how this realization changed his own life. As a lawyer, he was successful on the outside but unhappy on the inside. Every day felt like a grind, and negativity ruled his thinking. But when he started reading motivational material and surrounding himself with positive ideas, something shifted. He began to change the way he looked at things, and soon the things he looked at began to change. His thoughts improved, his energy lifted, and eventually, he left his career to pursue something that gave him purpose and joy. He reminds us that the people who go far in life aren't necessarily the ones with the best education or the most talent. They're the ones with the best attitude. They keep their window clean. They choose to see the good, even when it's not easy. They keep moving forward when others give up. So, if you want to change your life, start by changing how you see it. Clean your mental window. Let go of the bitterness, the fear, and the old thoughts that have been holding you back. Replace them with hope, belief, and a fresh perspective. Because once your attitude changes, everything else begins to follow. Headphone Chapter 2. You're a human magnet. You attract into your life what you consistently think about. That's the simple but powerful message at the heart of this chapter. Jeff Keller explains that each of us is like a magnet. Our thoughts have a pulling force. If your mind is full of positive, hopeful ideas, you begin to attract positive results and experiences. But if your mind is stuck on problems, fear, or failure, you end up pulling more of that into your life, too. It might sound strange at first, but think about it. When you start your day focused on everything that's going wrong, doesn't it often feel like more things go wrong? And when you begin your day with hope, gratitude, and a plan, somehow the day flows better. That's not a coincidence. That's your mental magnet at work. Keller reminds us that the thoughts we hold most often, the ones we repeat and truly believe, shape the kind of people we meet, the opportunities we notice, and the choices we make. If you constantly tell yourself that success is out of reach, you'll unconsciously avoid the chances that could get you there. But if you think of yourself as capable, as someone who deserves good things, you'll start spotting paths you didn't notice before. This isn't about wishful thinking. It's about training your mind to focus on what you want, not what you fear. Keller emphasizes that your mind cannot focus on positive and negative thoughts at the same time. So every day you have a choice. Will you focus on goals, growth, and gratitude? Or will you dwell on problems, blame, and doubt? The beauty of this idea is that you don't need to force the world to change, you just need to adjust your focus. When you shift your thoughts toward positivity, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, the people and situations around you begin to respond. You draw in better conversations, better moods, and better results. The key is consistency. One positive thought won't change everything overnight. But the habit of thinking with belief and clarity will, over time, create a powerful shift. As Keller says, your thoughts are like seeds. What you plant today will grow tomorrow, so choose your thoughts carefully, and water them with attention and faith. Headphone Chapter 3. Picture your way to success. In this chapter, Jeff Keller dives into the power of visualization, the ability to create mental images of success before it actually happens. He explains that your mind responds strongly to images, and that when you consistently picture your goals as already achieved, your subconscious mind starts working to turn those images into reality. Visualization isn't just for athletes or performers. It's for anyone who wants to train their mind to focus, to believe, and to succeed. Keller points out that your mind can't always tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. So, when you see yourself clearly in your mind achieving a goal, whether it's giving a confident presentation, getting a promotion, or living a healthier life, your brain starts building the pathways to help you get there. This is not magic. It's mental preparation. It's about feeding your subconscious mind the picture of where you want to go, so that you naturally begin to make the choices and take the actions that line up with that picture. You become more focused, more alert to opportunities, and more confident in your decisions. Keller shares examples of people who used visualization daily, imagining their goals in vivid detail. And over time, the outer world began to match the inner picture. That's because what you see in your mind affects how you feel, and how you feel affects how you act. And how you act determines your results. The key is to be specific. When you visualize, don't just see a vague idea of success. Imagine the setting, the sounds, the feelings. Picture yourself already there, already succeeding. Do it with emotion. Do it regularly. Because the more you do, the more real it becomes, not just in your mind, but in your life. Visualization is like rehearsing success. You're preparing your mind and body for the moment it arrives. And when that moment does come, you'll be ready, because you've already seen yourself succeed 100 times before. Headphone Chapter 4. Make a commitment. And you'll move mountains. In this chapter, Jeff Keller brings up a truth that many people overlook. Real progress begins the moment you make a solid, unshakable commitment to your goal. Not a wish. Not a hope. A decision, firm and clear. He explains that commitment is the driving force behind every meaningful achievement. When you commit to something fully, you tap into a deeper level of energy, focus, and determination that simply doesn't show up when you're half-hearted or unsure. Too often, people say they want success, they want change, they want something better, but they haven't truly committed. They're waiting for the perfect time, or they're afraid of failure. But that mindset holds them back. As Keller puts it, once you fully commit, once you say to yourself, "This is happening. I'm doing this no matter what," everything starts to shift. That level of commitment acts like a magnet. It pulls resources, people, and opportunities toward you. But more importantly, it changes something inside you. You stop hesitating. You stop questioning your worth. You start moving with purpose, and you keep moving even when the path gets hard, because your decision is already made. Keller reminds us that when you're truly committed, you don't need to have all the answers right away. You just need to take the first step and keep going. The how will reveal itself over time. The most successful people in any field didn't wait for perfect conditions. They made the decision to begin, and they stayed committed through the ups and downs. So if there's something you've been wanting, a career change, a business idea, a personal goal, ask yourself honestly, have you really committed? Have you drawn the line in your mind and said, no turning back? Because once you do, you'll be amazed at how much power rises within you. You'll discover that you can handle more than you thought. You'll find ways around obstacles. And that's when the so-called impossible starts to become possible. Headphone Chapter 5. Turn your problems into opportunities. Life will always bring challenges. That's something none of us can avoid. But in this chapter, Jeff Keller teaches us that it's not the problems themselves that matter most, it's how we choose to respond to them. He says that every problem, no matter how frustrating or painful it seems at first, carries within it the seed of something valuable, an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to change for the better. At first, it's hard to see a problem as a good thing. When something goes wrong, when plans fail, people disappoint us, or unexpected struggles show up, our first reaction is usually negative. We complain. We blame. We get stuck. But Keller reminds us that if we can shift our mindset, if we can train ourselves to ask, what can I learn from this? Or, how can I grow because of this? Then suddenly the problem starts to look different. It becomes a stepping stone instead of a wall. He shares the stories of people who face serious setbacks, career failures, financial losses, personal tragedies, but who used those experiences to fuel a better future. Not because they were lucky or superhuman, but because they refused to let their attitude go negative. They looked for the lesson. They chose to keep moving. Keller explains that a positive attitude doesn't mean pretending everything's perfect. It means you believe that something good can come out of even the worst situations. It means you trust that there's still a way forward, even when it isn't easy to see yet. And here's the shift: when you start treating problems as invitations to improve, to stretch, to discover something new, your energy changes. You stop resisting life, and you start working with it. You begin to look forward instead of backward. So the next time a challenge comes your way, big or small, pause. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what now? What can this teach me? How can I use this? Because the truth is, every great success story has moments of struggle. And your struggles might just be the start of your greatest growth. Headphone Chapter 6. Your words blaze a trail. The words you speak each day are more powerful than most people realize. In this chapter, Jeff Keller explains that the way you talk, not just to others, but to yourself, is shaping your thoughts, your emotions, and your results, whether you're aware of it or not. Every word you use carries energy. It either pushes you forward or pulls you back. Think about it. When you constantly say things like, I can't, I'm not good at this, or nothing ever works out for me, you're reinforcing those beliefs in your mind. Your subconscious listens. It believes you. And before long, those words become your reality. You hesitate. You miss opportunities. You start living smaller than you're capable of. On the other hand, when you speak with strength, when you say, I'll figure it out, I'm capable, or this challenge is helping me grow, you build confidence. You train your mind to stay calm and focused. You create a mental atmosphere where positive results are more likely to happen. You feel better, and you act with more courage. Keller stresses that you can't speak defeat and expect victory. You can't complain all day and expect to feel energized and inspired. Your words are like seeds. What you plant, you grow. So it's up to you to choose language that lifts you up instead of language that drags you down. And this isn't just about giving motivational speeches. It's about the simple, everyday phrases you use. The way you talk about your job. The way you respond when someone asks how you're doing. The way you describe your future. These small phrases carry huge influence over your mindset. Jeff Keller encourages you to become aware of the words that come out of your mouth. And more importantly, to change them when they don't match the life you want to live. Because every time you speak, you're giving your mind instructions. You're drawing the map you'll walk tomorrow. So speak wisely. Speak with purpose. Speak as if the life you want is already unfolding, because your words are one of the most powerful tools you have to create it. Headphone Chapter 7. How are you? It seems like such a simple question. How are you? We hear it every day. But Jeff Keller explains that your answer to this question matters more than you might think. Because every time you respond, you're not just talking to the other person, you're sending a message to yourself, reinforcing a state of mind. Most people respond without thinking. They say things like, "Not too bad, same old," or "I'm hanging in there." These answers might feel casual or harmless, but Keller points out that they actually reinforce a negative or neutral mindset. If you keep telling yourself and others that life is dull, hard, or unchanging, your mind takes that as truth and begins to live accordingly. But what if you change that? What if, instead of defaulting to flat or negative responses, you chose words that reflected a stronger, more optimistic frame of mind? What if you said, "I'm doing great," or "fantastic," or even, "I'm getting better every day"? Even if everything in your life isn't perfect, saying something positive starts to shift your energy. You begin to feel stronger. And the people around you pick up on that too. Keller is clear. He's not asking you to lie or fake happiness. He's asking you to recognize the power in your words. Every time you speak, you have a chance to uplift your mood, reshape your thinking, and influence how others see you. Over time, these small moments add up to big changes in your attitude and your results. And when you're consistent, people begin to associate you with energy, optimism, and possibility. You become someone who brings life into a room, someone others want to be around. That kind of presence can open doors, build relationships, and make your days feel lighter and more meaningful. So the next time someone asks you, "How are you?" take it as an opportunity. Don't just answer, lead. Lead with energy. Lead with positivity. And speak like someone who's building a better life, one word at a time. Headphone Chapter 8. Stop complaining. In this chapter, Jeff Keller gets straight to the point. Complaining is one of the fastest ways to drain your energy, lower your attitude, and stay stuck right where you are. When you complain, whether it's about traffic, your boss, the weather, or your circumstances, you're focusing all your attention on what's wrong instead of what you can do to make it better. And that focus becomes a habit that poisons your thinking over time. Keller explains that complaining is more than just venting, it becomes a mindset. The more you complain, the more you train your brain to find faults, to expect problems, and to stay negative. And even worse, when you complain, you often do nothing to change the situation. You give away your power to something outside of you, as if you're helpless. But here's the truth, you are not helpless. You always have a choice. If something in your life is bothering you, you can either take action to change it, or you can accept it peacefully and move on. Complaining, on the other hand, keeps you stuck in the middle, where nothing gets better, and your energy slowly fades. Keller encourages us to become aware of our complaints, no matter how small. Start noticing when you grumble about the little things, the slow internet, the long line at the store, the noisy neighbor. And then ask yourself, is complaining helping me right now? Chances are, it's not. In fact, it might be making you feel even more frustrated than before. Instead, he suggests you flip the script. If you catch yourself about to complain, pause and either take a constructive step to fix the problem or reframe the situation in a more positive way. This simple shift in mindset takes practice, but over time, it can completely transform your outlook and your outcomes. Keller also points out that nobody likes being around chronic complainers. It brings others down too. On the other hand, when you choose to focus on solutions and speak with a hopeful tone, people are drawn to your energy. You become someone who lifts others up, not someone who drags the room down. So the message is clear: stop complaining. Use your voice to speak encouragement, to find solutions, and to move forward. Your attitude will rise, your relationships will improve, and your life will begin to reflect the positivity you're choosing to speak. Headphone Chapter 9. Associate with positive people. In this chapter, Jeff Keller emphasizes something deeply important. The people you spend time with are shaping your mindset and influencing your future. Whether you realize it or not, attitudes are contagious. If you're constantly surrounded by people who complain, gossip, or expect failure, it's nearly impossible to keep a strong, positive attitude yourself. Their negativity seeps into your thoughts, your conversations, and your energy. Keller points out that you become like the people you associate with. If your friends are unmotivated, constantly criticizing others, or blaming the world for their problems, that behavior starts to feel normal. It pulls you down slowly, subtly, and often without you noticing. But the opposite is also true. When you surround yourself with people who believe in growth, who speak about ideas instead of other people, who take responsibility for their lives, your own thinking begins to rise. You feel more energized, more hopeful, more capable. He encourages you to take a good, honest look at the people in your circle. Ask yourself, do they lift you up or bring you down? Do they inspire you or drain you? And if you find that you're surrounded by negativity, he challenges you to make changes, even if it means spending less time with certain people. That doesn't mean being rude or judgmental. It means protecting your mindset, because your future depends on it. Keller also reminds us that we're not only affected by those we see in person. The books we read, the podcasts we listen to, the content we consume, all of that shapes our mental environment. So choose wisely. Feed your mind with positive voices. Learn from people who have done what you want to do. Spend time with those who encourage you to dream bigger and expect more from life. And remember, this principle works both ways. Just as others influence you, you influence others. Your energy matters. Your words matter. You have the power to be the positive person in someone else's life, to lead by example and to create an atmosphere where people rise just by being around you. So surround yourself with optimism. Let go of the voices that hold you back. And choose a community that helps you build the life and attitude you truly want. Headphone Chapter 10. Confront your fears and grow. Fear is something we all experience. It's natural, it's human, and at times, it even protects us. But in this chapter, Jeff Keller wants to make one thing absolutely clear. Fear should never be the reason you stop growing. In fact, the very things you fear are often the exact things you need to face if you want to move forward in life. Keller explains that too many people wait for fear to disappear before they take action. They say things like, "I'll do it when I feel more confident," or, "I'm just not ready yet." But here's the truth: if you wait for the fear to go away, you'll be waiting forever. Fear doesn't vanish on its own, it fades only when you confront it. He encourages you to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing fear as a stop sign, start seeing it as a signal. It's often pointing to the next area of growth in your life, a place where, once you push through, you'll discover more strength, more confidence, and more opportunity than you ever imagined. Think about any time you've achieved something important. Whether it was giving a speech, going on an interview, launching a business, or even having a difficult conversation, fear was probably there. But you did it anyway. And when you did, you grew. You proved to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. Keller's advice is practical. Don't aim to eliminate fear. Instead, act in spite of it. Take small steps. Start with the things that scare you just a little, and gradually work your way toward bigger challenges. The more action you take, the more your courage grows. And over time, what once seemed terrifying becomes manageable, even routine. He reminds us that the people who succeed in life aren't fearless. They're just willing to move forward even when they're scared. They understand that fear is a part of progress, not a reason to stay still. So the next time you feel fear rising up, take it as a sign that you're on the edge of something important. Face it with steady steps. And as you do, you'll begin to build a life not ruled by fear, but by strength, action, and growth. Headphone Chapter 11. Get out there and fail. In this chapter, Jeff Keller offers a bold but freeing message. Failure is not your enemy. It's part of the path to success. In fact, if you're not failing from time to time, chances are you're not pushing yourself enough. Keller encourages you to stop fearing failure and start welcoming it as a necessary step in any meaningful journey. Most people are so afraid of failing that they never try. They hold back their ideas, delay taking action, and play it safe. But what they don't realize is that in trying to avoid failure, they're also avoiding growth, excitement, and the chance to truly succeed. Playing it safe might protect you from a little pain, but it also keeps you stuck, small, and frustrated. Keller challenges this mindset. He reminds us that behind every great success story, you'll find a trail of failures. The most admired achievers, inventors, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders, didn't get it right on the first try. They made mistakes. They stumbled. But they didn't quit. They learned, adjusted, and kept going. He explains that failure is feedback. It shows you what's not working so you can find what will. It strengthens your resilience. It builds character. And every time you get back up after a fall, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of more. But to benefit from failure, you have to step into it willingly. You have to act, knowing that things might not go perfectly. You have to take risks, speak up, show up, and try, again and again. And the more you do, the less scary failure becomes. Eventually, it's no longer something you fear. It's something you expect, use, and grow through. Keller's advice is to reframe how you define success. Instead of judging it by how few mistakes you make, measure it by how often you keep going. Every attempt, every effort, every lesson brings you closer to your goals. So don't wait until you're sure you won't fail. Take action now. Be willing to mess up. Be willing to fall flat. Because when you do, you're not failing, you're building the future one bold step at a time. Headphone Chapter 12. Networking that works. In this chapter, Jeff Keller shifts the focus from your inner world to your connections with others, and he explains how building genuine, positive relationships is essential to your personal and professional growth. The message is clear: success is not just about what you know or what you do. It's also about who you surround yourself with and how you treat those people along the way. Keller explains that real networking isn't about handing out business cards, collecting contacts, or making superficial connections. It's about creating sincere relationships rooted in trust, value, and mutual respect. People are far more likely to help you, support you, or open doors for you when they feel a real connection, when they sense that you care about them, not just about what they can do for you. He reminds us that your attitude shapes your networking. If you show up with confidence, warmth, and a mindset of contribution, people respond. They remember how you made them feel. But if you come across as negative, needy, or self-centered, people naturally keep their distance. Your energy speaks before you do. Keller encourages you to be a giver, someone who helps others without always expecting something in return. Share useful information, offer encouragement, connect people with opportunities. When you bring value to others, it creates goodwill that often circles back to you in unexpected and powerful ways. He also emphasizes the importance of listening. In a world where everyone's rushing to be heard, truly listening, giving someone your full attention and showing genuine interest, is a rare and powerful form of connection. People want to feel seen and heard. If you can offer that, you stand out. So whether you're building friendships, growing your career, or launching a business, remember this: it's not just about who you know, it's about how you treat who you know. Approach every interaction with respect, positivity, and authenticity. Be the kind of person others want to know, and watch how your relationships begin to open new doors, sometimes in ways you never expected. Headphone Chapter 13. Life is a journey. As Jeff Keller closes out the book, he brings the focus back to something deeply personal and meaningful: the idea that life isn't about racing to a finish line. It's a journey, and your attitude determines how you experience that journey every single day. Too often, people get caught up in chasing the next achievement. They tell themselves, "I'll be happy when I get the job, when I make more money, when I fix this one problem." But Keller gently reminds us that if we're always waiting for some future moment to enjoy life, we miss the beauty that's happening right now. He encourages you to stop treating life like a to-do list, or a series of boxes to check off before you're finally allowed to feel fulfilled. Instead, see it as a path, full of highs and lows, surprises and setbacks, lessons and joys. And understand that your attitude along that path is what shapes your experience far more than your circumstances ever could. You won't always have control over what happens to you, but you always have control over how you respond. And when you choose to respond with patience, optimism, and a willingness to grow, you not only move forward, you enjoy the process. You find meaning in the small steps, strength in the challenges, and gratitude in the progress. Keller urges you to be gentle with yourself. Keep growing, yes. Keep striving for better. But don't forget to live today. Don't forget to smile, to appreciate where you are, and to recognize how far you've already come. Because success isn't just reaching your destination, it's how you walk the road that leads there. And in the end, that's the heart of this book. Your attitude is everything. It shapes how you see the world, how you treat others, how you respond to failure, and how you carry yourself through every chapter of your life. So keep your thoughts positive, your words strong, and your heart open. With the right attitude, there's nothing you can't learn from, grow through, or become.